What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on professional wrestling. It is Wednesday night, February 18th, 2026, and this is your AEW Dynamite review right here on the Big Fight Fuel channel. And we are coming off this weekend's AEW Grand Slam show in Australia. We put that behind us and we are on our final stretch to the Revolution pay per view on March 15th. And it was a good show. It was a lot of filler in the show. I feel like in the second hour, the show in the first hour, we got an absolute banger between John Moxley and Mark Davis. Um, we nearly had a career-ending neck injury in that fatal four-way women's match for the TBS title. Thank God Megan Bayne did not break her neck, because that absolutely scared the shit out of me, and that I will talk about that when we get to that match. And then some controversy in the MJF Hangman Adam Page segment that we got tonight, as we are revisiting a stipulation from 2019. And I feel like people are getting way too overreactive, let's just say, about that stipulation. And then finally, to end the show, we got Kenny Omega versus Swerve, which was the best match on the show. It was a great main event. Swerve won, clean as a whistle. And then after the match, we got ourselves a good old-fashioned heel turn, as Swerve Strickland has gone to the dark side, and we end off the show with an absolute insane vertebreaker through the announce table, which Kenny Omega is scheduled to be in Japan the weekend of Revolution, and that is going to take him out past Revolution, more than likely. So what they do with Swerve after this, I'm not exactly sure, but I do have my questions about this. I thought the execution of it was phenomenal, but I definitely have my questions about turning Swerve heel. So we got a lot to talk about. I appreciate you guys so much for joining me. Earlier in the day, AEW had themselves a big announcement that they are going to be doing Double or Nothing May 24th at the Louis Armstrong Stadium, which is a tennis stadium in Queens, New York. That is going to be a big time deal. And AEW has had pay per views in Newark, New Jersey, which is a little bit outside of New York. They've had pay per views in Newark, which Full Gear last year I was at, 2025. They've had pay per views in Long Island, such as Forbidden Door. But if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be AEW's first ever pay per view in New York City. And that is going down Memorial Day weekend. So that is big news for AEW. And they are going to sell that show out. That stadium holds about 15,000, I believe. Um, they are going to sell out that stadium for Double or Nothing, no question in my mind. So, very exciting news for AEW to start the day. And if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out my Grand Slam review from Sunday, and then my Monday Night Raw review from Monday. Javon Evans qualified for the Elimination Chamber taking place next weekend. And outside of that, that show Monday night was pretty ass. So go ahead and check that out. But of course, don't do that until you've watched the entirety of this review. So the show kicked off which I thought it was kind of weird because what I thought they would do first was like a little video package of everything that happened at Grand Slam in case you missed it. And they did that in the middle of the show. Whatever. Um, but we got wrestlers cutting promos backstage, hyping up their match. Kenny Omega and Swerve very much locked in on each other. And we start off the night with John Moxley against Mark Davis in a eliminator match, and this was hard hitting, this was physical, this was everything you would expect in a John Moxley and a Mark Davis match. Mark Davis is one of the more underrated guys in AEW, and I think it was 2 weeks ago he had that great match with Adam Hangman Page, and I talked about it then if you guys missed it, but he is really damn good, and he was on it again tonight, man. He had a an outstanding opening match against John Moxley, and the turning point of this match was these guys were fighting on the outside, and Davis was laying in some chops, and you know how they'll do the spot where the guy is laying on the ring post and the opponent goes in for a chop and the opponent moves and he misses. Mark Davis went for a punch. John Moxley moved and this guy punched the ring post and busted open his hand. So his hand was a bloody mess the entire match. But I thought the visual looked really cool. So these guys went back and forth for a little bit, and Davis just picked Moxley up from the floor and gave him a pile driver, and then Moxley won with the Bulldog choke later on in the match. So they announced that 10 minutes remained. 10 went by. So this match went about 15 minutes. Again, great match. Great way to kick off Dynamite. And later on in the show, John Moxley and the Death Riders were doing a backstage promo. And Moxley laid out the challenge for Revolution that we are going to get a rematch. Konosuke Takeshita versus John Moxley for the Continental Championship. This time, no time limit. No time limit at all. And what I tell you guys on Sunday, I felt like watching that match between Takeshita and Moxley, I thought they had a great match. However, coming out of it, I thought they left a lot of meat on the bone. They definitely left meat on the bone. And they did that for a reason because they knew we were having this match again at the pay-per-view. And now we're going to have a longer match with these guys because they're not doing a time limit. So there you go. Takeshita, Moxley, no time limit for the Continental title at Revolution. And speaking of Revolution, the Young Bucks officially challenged FTR for the AEW Tag Team titles. FTR was cutting a promo talking about how in 2016 the Young Bucks were voted as the Tag Team of the Year. And since that point forward, they have gone on to be one of the best tag teams in the world. But the problem for them is they're not number one in the world anymore. And since we've got here to AEW 6 years ago, we have leapfrogged them as the best of all time and the best in the world. So the Young Bucks are going to have to realize how much it sucks to always be known as number two. And then Stokely got on the microphone and said, believe it or not, Me and FTR, we hate most people in AEW. We don't like our employees. And on the top of the list is Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. And they went in depth into their families. And that's when the Young Bucks came in the ring, super kicked Cash and Dax. And Stokely was still cutting his promo. And then just the realization of the crowd cheering. And Stokely was like, "Thank you for finally agreeing with what I'm saying." And then just the realization of, "Oh, fuck, I just got caught." That was amazing. I will admit, that part of the segment, that was awesome. So, the Young Bucks super kick Stokely Hathaway, and they hold up the tag team titles and issue the challenge at Revolution on March 15th. We will get the Young Bucks versus FTR for the tag team titles. Fatal four way for the TBS Championship. Mega Bane, Marina Shafir, Mina Shirakawa, and the TBS champion Willow Nightingale. I thought this was a fun match. All these women, they got the spotlight. Willow did end up winning at the end with a cradle on Mina Shirakawa. I mean, barely won the match, so I feel like she is gonna still be feuding with Megan Bayne for that TBS title. But the biggest win and the biggest victory in that match was that Megan Bayne did not break her neck. So I can't remember who she was in the ring with, but she went up to the top rope and um and Willow Nightingale cut her off. And then Willow went up to the second rope or whatever, and the ladies were brawling. And I have no earthly idea what happened. If Mega Bane did not turn in time, if she didn't have time to react enough, but she was Willow Nightingale let her go, and Mega Bane was literally this close. This freaking close to breaking her neck. I mean, that was scary watching live. That was scary. And that is no doubt the biggest victory of that entire match is that when the match was over, she was able to stand up because she was she's so lucky she did not break her neck. So that was my biggest takeaway from that match. Then we got the biggest talking point of the entire night. Maybe up until the main event, but this segment between MJF and Adam Page. It started off fantastic. MJF is here. It's like, I'm not here to cut a cute promo and try to sell my match and try to sell tickets for the pay-per-view. I'm coming out here to speak from the heart. I hate you from the bottom of my heart. I hate everything about you. I hate how you walk. I hate how you talk. I hate how you look. And I hate how you wrestle. And what you are known as is a last shot. I can't remember what the term was, but like a lucky shot or a last shot. And I thought Hangman's comeback to that line was outstanding. I thought it was really nice. So he said, lucky shot. The only guy standing in the ring who had a lucky shot was the guy who won a contract at All In to get a guaranteed match for the world title. And what did you do with that? You sat at home for 3 months with that contract, waiting for the perfect time, waiting until three people who absolutely hated each other were about to fight for that AEW World Championship. And then what did you do? You picked in front of one of our biggest audiences internationally to ruin our moment and to weasel your way into a fatal four-way match at World's End. And then what did you do at World's End? You stole that AEW World Championship from me. Because if you had not went in the ring and kicked me in the nuts, I would be sharing here right now the AEW World Champion. So that part of the promo was fantastic. Here's the controversy. I'm not saying it's bad, but it got a lot of people talking on social media. A lot of people. He said this rivalry, this hatred, we just simply can't do a one-on-one match for the world title. And MJF says, that's simply where you're wrong, cowboy. I'm the world champion. I make the rules. And we're going to have a one-on-one, good old-fashioned, professional wrestling match. One-on-one for the world title in the main event. And the crowd booed because Hangman teased that we were getting a stipulation. So Hangman's like, hold on. We need to have a stipulation. He says, I will pick one. You will pick one. And we will let the crowd decide. Or some shit like that. But MJF's going to pick a stipulation next week. Hangman says, I will give you my word right here, right now, to you and the people of Sacramento. And to the entire world watching. If I cannot win the AEW World Championship and beat you at Revolution, I will never challenge for the AEW World Championship as long as I am breathing in All Elite Wrestling. Let me say that again. If I lose this championship match and I cannot beat you at Revolution, I will never challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship ever again as long as I'm standing here and breathing in All Elite Wrestling. So we have opted to go with the Cody Rhodes 2019 stipulation. For those of you that don't know, I will bring you back to memory lane, okay? When AEW just started, Chris Jericho was the first ever AEW World Champion. When Cody, at the time, was an executive vice president of AEW, he was the first challenger for the AEW World Championship. And going into that pay-per-view, he laid out the stipulation to Chris Jericho that if I lose this match, I will never challenge for the AEW World Championship here in AEW ever again. And it was MJF who ruined it for him that night by throwing in the white towel while Chris Jericho had in the walls of Jericho. And Cody did not tap out. So because of that match, Cody could never challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again in AEW. And then 3 years later, 2.5 months later, Cody Rhodes left AEW for WWE, and he returned to the WWE at WrestleMania 38. People are overreacting to it. They are going. They're thinking way too much about it. Oh my gosh, AEW is going to be dead. Not having Hangman in the world title scene ever again is such a disservice to the company. Hangman's going to take the Cody Rhodes route, and he's going to be going to the Fed. You guys are blithering idiots. Do you not know why that stipulation didn't work in 2019 and all that time in AEW Cody Rhodes spent? Because Cody Rhodes didn't go heel. Because Cody Rhodes himself didn't want to and refused to go heel and decided, I'm leaving AEW. Cody Rhodes wanted to do everything but turn heel. And him turning heel in 2022 would have been perfect. Number one, the fans were getting so sick and tired of him. They were booing him the entire feud against Malachi Black. They were booing him when he would win the TNT Championship. Fans were sick and tired. AEW fans were sick and tired of seeing Cody Rhodes on their television screen. And the best thing for Cody at that time was to go heel. And Cody did not want to. If that time ever comes, and there will be a time where there's a lot of baby faces, and we've been teasing this turn for a while, Hangman Adam Page will absolutely have no problem turning heel and going back on his word. What did he say in that segment with MJF tonight that was so important? This is the most important detail of the entire segment, okay, folks? The thing that disgusts me the most about you is that I see myself in you. He said those words. He said, I see myself in you. And MJF is known to be a liar. MJF is known to be a manipulator. So what's going to happen way down the line when Adam Page snaps and he becomes this insane psychopath once again, just like he was a couple years ago? He's going to go back on his word, he's going to lie, and he's going to challenge for the AEW World Championship as a heel. Tony Khan is not stupid enough to make the same mistake twice, to make the same mistake he made with Cody Rhodes. The reason that stipulation didn't work was because Cody didn't want to go heel. If this storyline, and it will come a time where this calls for Adam Page to go heel, Adam Page will go heel. And he will win the world title as a heel instead of a babyface. So, overall, very good segment. Very good segment from these guys. And we need to get to next week. And we need to hear MJF's stipulation. Hangman proposed a Texas death match. So, I'm assuming that's what we could get. But we'll have to see how next week plays out. Alright, we'll run through these matches real quick because they're meh. Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii against Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. Thought the interaction with Gabe Kidd and Ishii, they were outstanding. They have such good chemistry together from the New Japan days. The story here, Darby Allin came up from behind once again to attack Gabe Kidd, and it seems like that's what's happening every week. With Darby attacking Gabe or Gabe attacking Darby, and at the end of the day, this is probably leading towards a match between these guys at the pay-per-view, and we're gonna be questioning ourselves. What insane shit is Darby gonna be doing on the pay-per-view this time? Because these guys had a singles match together at World's End, so I don't think you can just repeat and just have a singles match once again. These guys will probably have a stipulation for their match at Revolution. So Darby takes out Gabe, and it was Ishii getting the win for him and Orange Cassidy over Clark Connors. Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor made their tag team debut. They are known as the Brawling Birds. I'm sorry, but who's coming up with these tag team names? It's already bad enough that 2 weeks ago we learned that Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne are going to be going by Mega Bad. That's a horrendous tag team name. Now 2 weeks later we get the Brawling Birds. Who is coming up with this shit in AEW? Because these names are freaking... They're dog shit. It's absolute dog shit. But they get the win over a Enhancement Talent tag team. And then Kevin Knight against Beast Mortokes. Very quick, very fast-paced match. Really fun stuff. Kevin Knight got the win with the Twisting Frog Splash in the air. And then later on backstage, the Demand cut a promo. Ricochet saying he's officially done with Jack Perry, and now his goal is to get his two guys, GOA, some gold around them. And then I think it was Toa Leona cutting a promo about how they just listened to Kevin Knight, and Kevin Knight's eager to defend the Trios title. So they lay out the challenge. Saturday night in San Diego, it will be the Demand challenging Speedball, Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Adam Page, Jet Set Rodeo for the Trios tag team, for the Trios titles. For any of y'all who are interested in watching Collision. So, I know I don't watch Collision on Saturday nights. Main event, Swerve and Kenny Omega. This was a great match. Great match for sure. And Swerve won clean. Swerve won with the big pressure. But then after the match, Kenny's words to him last week, it got to him. Saying, "You are not the most dangerous man in AEW. Brody King is." I think that got to him. And I think Kenny Omega's words to Swerve last week kind of made him snap. And that's when we get this big, massive beatdown afterwards. Crowd is booing. Swerve has Kenny Omega hanging with the chain wrapped around his throat. Throws him to the barricade a couple times. And then hits the vertebraker through the announce table. Swerve getting lots of boos, thunderous boos, as we close the show. Look, I thought the execution to this heel turn was really good. I thought Swerve yelling at the camera, I needed this. I needed this. I needed this. I thought that was a very nice touch as well. Personally, from my opinion, I feel like it's a little bit too early. We don't know exactly what Swerve is going to be doing at Revolution now. Swerve doesn't have a clear path to Revolution. And the main reason I believe this is a little bit too early is because babyface Swerve would be an excellent challenger for MJF in the world title. Um, how does Swerve fit into the world title picture now as a heel? Do we still get that matchup, but this time it's a heel Swerve versus a heel MJF? I'm not sure if that's going to make sense or not. Um, I did see a heel turn coming this year for Swerve. Absolutely, because we are loaded with baby faces in the top of the roster. But now here's the kicker. We got plenty of heels in the main event scene now. MJF, Swerve, Kyle Fletcher when he loses that TNT title, Okada. We got plenty of heels. The last couple weeks, AEW has been playing these mini video packages of Will Ospreay. My prediction is we are going to see Will Ospreay by the next 2 months. In the next 2 months, we will see Will Ospreay make a return to AEW. Because after this, after Revolution, Hangman is not winning. And that is going to take him out of the world title picture. After Revolution, as far as top baby faces go, you got Kenny Omega. And that's it. So I would not be shocked to see Will Ospreay come back sooner rather than later. Do I like the Swerve heel turn? Yes, I do. I just think it was a little bit too early for it. So, alright, guys. I am wrapping it up for the night. I appreciate you. Subscribe, comment, hit the like button if you liked your heard from me. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok, Conlon_Joseph. And I will see you Friday here on the Big Fight Field channel for Friday Night SmackDown. Peace!